Hey guys, so I'm back with another video, and this is going to be continuation of our Blazing blog app using Blazor server. So this is part 2. So before continuing on this one, I would recommend you guys to check out the part 1 of this series. So I'm going to add it in the I box, and in the description box I'm going to add a link to part 1. So in part 1 we have seen a basic overview of our app, what we are going to build, and then we prepared our database, our DB entities, our DB context with seeding data, and we ran our migrations. So that all we have done in part 1. And now in this part we are going to work on the UI. So first thing, we'll start with our layout. So let's get continue. So we are here in main layout. So first thing, we don't need all of these things. We'll need the body. So this thing by default using the bootstrap. So we'll stick to bootstrap designing only. So first thing, let's fix the page title. And after that, in this div class page, first thing we'll have our navigation menu. So if you remember from the app, this thing, we need this one. So this is going to be our main top nav bar. So we'll have a component here, top nav bar, and then we'll have our body, that is this. So let me remove everything. So we will have top nav bar. After that we'll have a div class, and let's say container fluid body. So body is under container fluid, so it uh, takes the complete screen space. And if there is any page which requires to be center or which is not required to stretch out to the complete width of our browser, then the child can easily use the container class, and it will have the gap from both horizontal sides from left and right. Okay, and after body we'll have our footer. Okay, so in footer, let's have a simple P which says a blog app built using Blazor server by Abhay. So this is fine. Cool. And for this top nav bar, let's create a new component in shared folder only. So shared, add, and razor component. And let's call it top nav bar. Top nav bar. And we should be good now. This is top nav bar. Go to main layout and let's remove this comment, and let's use the top nav bar component directly here. Fine. So we have added this. Now we don't need this nav menu. So let's clean this up, remove this nav menu, and then survey prompt. We don't need this one as well. Clean this up. And from pages, we have index page, and on index we are using the survey prompt, so we don't need this as well. Let's remove this. Counter will not use this component, remove this. Fetch data will not use this, delete this as well. And from our data folder we have weather forecast.cs and weather forecast service.cs. So we are not going to use these two, so delete these two as well. We are cleaning up the files, and when we remove that, then it is going to freak out. Yes, this add singleton, this service, so let's remove this as well. And now app should build successfully and we should be able to run it. So let's run the app. Okay, app is here. So it looks ugly because we have not set anything so far. So we'll start designing our app. So first thing, we need to have our color. Now the that purple type of color which we are using in our header, this color, this color. So let's go to our project and let's add this color to this top navbar. And in top navbar, we are going to have a full width container. So div class container fluid, and we need that background color here. So background color, or instead of this, let's use, so we are going to use that color at other places as well. So let's go to www.root css and site.css. This is the default styling, and we'll add a root selector here. So I'm adding this so that we can have our CSS variables here. So we can define CSS variables under this root. So let's call it color purple, something like this, and then paste this. So we can use this variable throughout our app, and if tomorrow if we decide to change the color, we'll simply change it from here. So it will reflect at all other places. Okay, so let's go to our top navbar, and here we can use that color with let's say in style background color. And to use CSS variables, we need to use var, then our variable name, that is color purple. This, and then for now let's have a simple text here, top navbar, and let's see if that thing is working. We cannot see it. Let's restart the app. So app is here, and we can see this top navbar and this thing, and it is like this. It should not be like this. So what is the issue here? Mainly, okay. So the issue here is we have this CSS file here, main layout.razor.css. So for this, I don't think we need any of this. So let's get rid of this. Save. We removed everything. And now we can see our top navbar here. Fine. Next thing, let's move this footer to the very end. Right? So this footer, we need to move it to the bottom. So for that, what we can do, we can have the flex box. Okay, this main layout razor, right? On this only. And if we check our main layout.razor, we have this page. So for this page, or we can use CSS bootstrap classes. So dflex is for display flex. Fine. And after that, on this top navbar, okay, maybe let's go to this top navbar here. Let's copy this for now. Come here and move this top navbar under this section. Fine, and in here we'll directly have our content. And in here we'll have this. So now we have three children on this page. This deflex, first is this header, this top navbar, second is body, and third is footer. So we have specified deflex, and then we'll set the flex grow 1 on this one. So flex grow 1, so that it takes the complete height aside from these two height. Let's save it and let's check how is it looking. So app is here, and it did not change anything. And what is the issue? Okay, issue is the default flex direction. basically. So we need to add flex column, and now we should be good. So flex column, by default flex row is there, so we'll have a flex column. Okay, and after that have it here. Now let's see, flex row 1, flex 1. Okay, maybe we need to set the height. Fine, let's not use this, but we'll use. So let's, okay, we'll maybe work on this later. So that the point here is we need to set the height for this middle body section. So the way we are going to do it, that style will set let's say min height, or maybe we have another approach. Let's move this footer to the variable. Let's fix this always, right? So do we have some fixed class? Fixed bot. Let's see if, yeah, it is getting fixed to the bottom. This is fine. Okay, fixed bottom. Now we need to move it to the center. So on this only, let's use text center. Fine. Let's add a background color to this. So we'll say BG gray. For now, let's have BG info. This is, and here we'll use one of the bootstraps colors. So we have these gray colors, these CSS variables, right? So we can use one of this. So let's use this one, BS gray 200. So on here, instead of this BG info, let's remove this and let's add one more style, background color, and we'll use that CSS variable like this. And then we need to move it to the center vertically, right? It is here, it should be in center vertically. So for that, what we can try, we can set display flex, and then we can set align items to center. Align items center to align, to move this to center vertically. Okay, color is fine, but what is the issue here? It is getting this margin bottom. Okay, it is getting margin bottom, but deflex align item center, and let's add justify content center as well to center it horizontally. Okay, and now we see this because of that margin bottom. So let's remove that margin bottom. So for that we can have a class MB. I don't know if you are able to see this now, maybe margin bottom 0, maybe M hyphen B 0. No, what is the name of the class for margin bottom? MB0 margin bottom 0. Yeah, actually margin bottom 0. Then what is it? Oh, sorry, I should add it on this P section. So margin bottom 0. Okay, let's go to our code, and after align item center we'll set justify content center, and on this P we'll have MB0, and then let's have a padding of 2 from all sides, or let's say PY, we need vertically 2. Let's check. Yeah, it looks good now. Okay, it's here. Fine. Now we'll design this main menu bar. So let's start. What we can do, let me have it here only, and I'll put it here so that we can see the changes in real time. Fine. So let me go to the top nav bar, or before that, let me move these styles to the CSS file. So on main layout, we have this background color of this. So let's go here and we'll add, uh, let's say BG purple class. And here we'll set this background color. So here we'll use our BG purple class and we'll remove this style. And same thing we have here also, but this is BG gray. So let's add a class here, footer, and then we'll move this style to footer class. So we'll come here, footer, and we should be good now. Save all, and everything is still looks same. Fine. Now let's come to this top nav bar. First thing here, we need a div class container, and in this container, first thing we need our heading. So in this container, let's add a header element, and in header, first thing we need that our name of the application. So for that we'll use navlink component so that we can click on it and navigate to the default page, the home page basically. So using this navlink, it will generate anchor tag, but the benefit is anchor tag will reload the page, but this navlink, it is going to use the Blazor router, so it will not reload the whole page. It will simply change the route and load the component whatever required for that particular route. So href. Okay, fine. And now let's add the blazing blog name here. So we have this blazing blog now. Now we'll design it. So for that, let me add a couple of CSS classes. So first class, we need to make this color white. Then we don't need this underline under this blazing blog. So let's use the text decoration none class. Fine. Now we need this to bigger. So let's use FS4, font size 4. Fine. And we need it as bold. So for that we have a class already, that is FW and bold, font weight bold. Okay, cool. So we have all these classes. After this, we need our menus here, that home, about, and all those menus. For that, we'll use a UL here with allies, and these allies are going to have again navlink. So first navlink, we'll use the same slash for home. So if we save it, we can see this navlink here. And on this navlink, we need to add classes. First thing, we need it as white, and we don't need the decoration here, that underline. So text decoration none, or we can use the navlink class here. Navlink. So it removes the decoration and all those things. So we are good now. Let me copy this one more time, and we'll have about section here. Save it, and now we have this about, but it is in this vertical format, but we need this horizontally. So for that, on UL, we'll add a class nav. We are here. Now on this screen, we need this thing to be side by side with this blazing block, right? So for that, on this header, let's add couple of classes. So first thing, we'll use display flex. Good. Next thing, we'll use the spacing between these two. So let's say justify content between. Fine. So there is space between these two. Home and about, these two links. For about, we'll use navlink href slash about. Fine. And after that, we need that login logout button, right? At the end, or before that, let me use those two links as well. For now, I am having these links directly here, but because we have not set up our authentication yet, so manage categories. So we'll fix these once we add logic for our authentication and authorization, then we'll show these links dynamically. So home about will always be there, but this manage category and this one more blogs, these two links, manage categories and manage blocks, these two will be visible only if the user is logged in. So we'll do this thing later, but for now we're designing it so that that's why I'm having this directly here for now. And after this, I'm going to have that login button. So for that, after this UL, let's add a div with, let's say, text and class. And here I will have the nav link with href slash login, so that we navigate to login page using this. And we'll have couple of classes here. So we'll make it look like a button. So btn primary, and I guess this is fine. That's all. So we have this login button. Now everything looks fine. We just need some padding from top and bottom. So for that, let's add the padding on this header class. So let's have it something like py3. Okay, looks good. Okay, it looks good on this screen. Now let's see how responsive it is. So if we shrink it, the screen size is getting smaller, then it is somehow breaking. What we need, it should move to the next line, it should flow to the next line. So for that, what we can do on this header, on this dflex, we'll add a flex wrap class. So it will wrap it to the next line. Cool. So blazing block and everything looks fine here. But now one more thing, we need everything to move to center in this case when the screen is smaller. To do this, we can use justify content between. Instead of between, we can use center. So justify content center. It is in center. It looks good. But if we increase the size again, then also it is in center. So what we need on smaller screens, it should be center aligned, but on bigger screen, it should be the same, the space between, right? So for that, what we can do, justify content center, this is default, but we'll use one more class, which is justify content between, but we'll add md here. So justify content md between. So it is like this on bigger screen between, but when we reduce the screen size, so on smaller screens, it will be center. So everything looks fine now. Right, so header is done. Right now if you click any of this, it is navigating to that, but if you see here, it is loading and there is nothing on this address because we have not defined any route, right? It will show the same thing for all the routes because we have not defined any route. Okay, so on home page we have this default thing. I think for this one, that's all. Next thing, we'll work on this login page. So UI design for login. That is the next thing we are going to work on. So that's it for this video. So please like this video, share this video and subscribe my channel. I'll upload the next part very soon. Till then, bye bye.